everybody, welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher. I'm Lauren, and as you can see, we are not on site at the workshop any longer. I am here in my twin nephews that are soon to be 4 years old future big boy room. They are going to be moving from their other room with the toddler beds and the changing table, and they are going to be coming over to this room here very soon. We've got a lot of work to do here, but I am super stoked. They are out of town right now. They've got 3 days out of town, so I've got 3 days to pull this off. Can I do it in that short of amount of time? I don't know, but without further ado, let's get into the project. The first thing that I want to do in this room is to just get it completely bare and stripped down, which they've pretty much done with all of the things, but I am going to be replacing the valances, so we might as well go ahead and get those out of the way so that we can start with a blank slate. Here we go. That was good. 1 down, 2 to go. Also going to go ahead and remove this light, at least like the fixture itself for now. Yeah. Now that we've got a blank slate, I need to do a little bit of measuring because I am going to be doing a wall treatment on the lower portion of the wall, and then above is going to be a wallpaper that I'm really excited to show you guys. So I have to kind of decide what I want to do as far as where I want the wall treatment to stop and where I want the wallpaper to begin. Over here, there's this little slanted ceiling portion. I'm not planning on doing the wall treatment and the wallpaper over here. I was thinking I should just do stop the wall treatment here, but it feels so tall compared to like how low the ceiling feels in here. So I am also thinking that I would do the wall treatment a little bit shorter than this, so that way we're optimizing like the wallpaper as well, because that's going to be one of the focal points of the room. So I don't want to not have enough of the wallpaper showing. I have 38 inches of wallpaper to work with. I don't think I'm going to use all 38 inches, but if we kind of measure, the whole wall is actually 89 inches tall-ish. And so this would be 2 feet. I'm thinking if we went down to about like 30, that would be around 5 feet up. And then we would still have, 2.5 feet of the wallpaper that's showing. But we could also go a little bit lower and have like 36 inches, but I feel like that's like half. There's just so many different ways we could do it. So I think I'm gonna land on somewhere in here. And the reason I kind of need to decide is because I need to know how much wood I'm gonna go get. So I'm gonna do a little bit of measuring, decide what I wanna do as far as the wallpaper goes, and then I'll head to the hardware store. Okay, so this might not be a priority to some people, but to me, this is a priority, especially because I'm filming and I want it to have good lighting. And this light is not great for my filming purposes. And also I was gonna change it out anyway, now that I got here and remembered that I actually do need to change out a light. So I already went ahead and turned off the power in here, so we're good there. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this down and replace it with one that I just picked up at Home Depot. In the past, I've had good luck with this and bad luck with this, so I'm hoping for good luck right now. I'm already feeling a little bit behind schedule. Of course, the schedule that I made for myself, but okay, light removal, easy. Light install, we'll see. What I got is one of these like flush mount color changing flat panel. And when it says color changing, it just means like you can choose the hue or the brightness of the light, whether you want it to be more yellow or more daylight type or soft white. So I just wanted it to go nice and flush against the ceiling here. I did not pay attention which goes with which, and they're not really marked white and black. Darn. Okay, I guessed correctly, somehow, some way. Now I've just got to get this back on. I got it. Whew, it was going the wrong way. Now it's time for the boring parts to be over, and it's time to get cracking on the design of this space. So I already ran to Home Depot and grabbed all of the materials that I'm going to need. And so I am going to basically start out with my boards and battens, because I'm going to be doing a board and batten wall. And I've already figured out most of the dimensions and the measurements. So I got the wood cut to, I got actually pre-primed MDF, and I got it cut to 6 feet each. It was just cheaper to buy 12-foot pieces and cut them in half than it was to like buy a whole bunch of 8-foot pieces when I really only need like less than 5 feet pieces. So that's what I kind of ended up doing. So now I've just got to cut them down to size, and then because I just did 6 feet just to make it easy there at Home Depot, but I am going to cut them down to size so that they can start getting lined up around the perimeter of the room, and then I'll start attaching them and it'll start to come together already. Okay, so I got a laser level because I wanted to make sure that this top board especially is super level and straight. So this should give me a nice straight line. I've got it marked right here, so I'm gonna line the horizontal line up with this across this entire wall. I decided that I'm gonna be doing it in kind of sections, and it's a potential that the boards are gonna be like a little bit different on each wall as far as like how far apart they are, but it shouldn't be something that's noticeable. So I'm just telling you guys that because if you're ever doing a wall, like 3 walls with board and batten or something, it's darn near impossible to get them exactly the exact same width apart and then still end on like a full board, if that makes sense. So I've just said, okay, I am going to do what I can, and if they're like a 1/2 inch off, in the grand scheme of things, there's gonna be so many other things in this room that you're probably not gonna be able to tell. So I am going to line this up now. Okay, I got the level up, and it took a little bit of trial and error, but I finally just like decided to get some directions and actually follow the directions to see how I was going to get this to work. And it actually worked really good. It just took me a second, but I've got it lined up with this line right here. And this is an old house. If I remember correctly, it was built in like the 1940s. And so we've got a little bit of bounce in the floor. So the level definitely shakes a bit, but that's okay. As long as we've got that level line when I am gonna be installing this top layer first, that's totally fine. And then I'll just make sure that like it's not wobble wobble while I am actually putting the boards on. So I'm gonna start with these boards that go up top on the tops of the boards and battens. These are called the boards and these are called the battens. So we've got a 39 incher right here, and then we've got the rest of the two that add up to the 93 inches over there, and then we'll be able to do the battens as well. Okay, I'm gonna start with this little area over here, and I am gonna be using construction adhesive because this, I believe, is plaster walls. And so I'm still gonna use my nail gun, but I just wanna be extra sure since I'm not sure that there's like real studs here. So we're just gonna apply a bit of construction adhesive to each piece. Nothing too crazy, just enough to know that it won't fall down anytime soon. I like this laser level. Last time I did a board and batten wall, didn't have a laser level, did okay. They're a little off, a little crooked, but that was super easy. So now I'm gonna do this side over here. I had to cut, I'm gonna have to use two boards over here because of me having to cut at Home Depot. So it wasn't quite long enough, but I only have to use like a 6-foot board and then a little extra. Now that I've got the boards up, I'm gonna do the battens, and I'm gonna start with one in this corner. Even when I tried to do it different and do it right, it still doesn't work. I guess I measured wrong. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and attach these battens, and then I can see exactly where these boards are supposed to sit on top of the battens, and I'll just pry these off, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Between each board, I'm doing 17 and 7/16 inches. A lot of numbers, but I don't want to jinx it, but I think I'm finding a groove, maybe. So now this is probably going to be under this window, which I had measured, and it's 18 and a quarter. So I've got these shorter boards that will fit in there, and then that'll just be painted, so no big deal there. I don't even want to talk about how long it's been and how long this took me, but we're here. We got one wall completely board and battened up. And so now I'm going to move to the other two walls. They're like technically smaller with less cuts. So that's encouraging because yeah, I think this time on this wall, I am going to make my boards or my battens first, and then I'll put my boards up, these ones, because for some reason, I think it's honestly the measurements of the walls, you know, what they say, no wall is level or even or the right measurements or anything like that. So I am going to just go ahead and make my boards, cut my boards, and then we'll go from there. But I'm really loving the way that it's already looking. I mean, I feel like it already looks like a different room and it's not even close to being done yet. Okay, once I figured that wall out, I felt like I was flying through. As you saw, I got that wall completely battened. I'm still gotta do the boards, but I figured I'll go ahead and finish the battens on this wall. And I already got the measurements already squared away. So basically I've just been taking it wall by wall and doing the best measurements for each wall, close as possible. So these ones are going to be 18 and 13/16 apart. So I am going to go ahead and attach these guys on this wall. Yes, that was a breeze, and it's level, easiest wall yet. It's easier the more you do it, I will say. So one of the most important things when you are doing any type of like wall treatment that you're adding boards on is to obviously fill the nail holes, but then also you're gonna want to use caulk and go around the seams, because when you paint it, it's gonna be seamless and it is just going to level up the look of the space like 10 times. So it's a tedious, long process. It's 10:30 at night and I really want to get this, at least the caulk and the nail holes filled tonight, and then I'll go to sleep and I'll come and paint early in the morning. Yeah, it's gonna take me a little while, but totally, totally, totally worth the extra time. Okay, I'm gonna call it a night. I got all of the caulking done and all of the nail holes filled. So in the morning, that'll all be dry. So I can sand down the nail holes and then I'll get to start getting paint on the walls, which is super exciting. It's been a long day. I am gonna get some much needed rest, but I'll be back here bright and early tomorrow morning to continue making progress. I've already been super busy this morning and I got everything sanded down, and then it created quite a bit of dust because I didn't bring a vacuum and I couldn't collect the dust as I was going. So not a good smart move on my behalf, but I learned for next time to bring my vacuum. But anyway, I went ahead and sanded everything down, so we are ready to start prepping for paint. I thought for a second that I was ready to actually paint, but then I remembered we just gotta prep first, which means taping off stuff. And I am just unsure of what I'm gonna do on one part. So the wall, like the board and batten, ends here. And I'm wondering what to do with the windows, because this part up here is gonna have wallpaper. And so I've seen a lot of people do like the same color as the board and batten around the window trim, but I don't really wanna paint like all of this and stuff. So if I did that, I would only paint the casing. I think that's what it's called, like the actual trim portion, not the inside areas. So that would all stay white. But what am I gonna do with the doors? Because could I leave those white as well? But I'm gonna go ahead and get started with taping the areas that I do know that I'm gonna be painting, and then I will come to a decision probably mid-paint what I'm actually going to do regarding that decision. So let's get to taping. Okay, it is time finally to start painting. I'm gonna start with this area and it's gonna be a different color than the board and batten. So I've got everything taped off and we're ready to paint. I am going to be using my handy paint tray, really nice and high quality. And then I've got the liners. So this is gonna be perfect because I have two different colors. So I'll just be able to switch out the liner when I'm ready to change over. I love that Behr puts this on, at least this paint. I kind of wish that they put these spouts on the enamel paint because whenever I get those in a gallon, that does not come with this. For this color, it's not a color that I can like tell you what it is because I had him color match the background of the wallpaper that I'm going to be using so that it kind of was like a seamless transition where the wallpaper is going to be hitting the the wall that's painted. So sorry, I can't share the color with you, but it has like a little bit of a green tint to it. I've also got my handy paint pail because this is going to be good for going around the edges of the walls and stuff. And then, of course, I've got all of my zebra brushes. I brought all of them just because I wasn't sure which ones I was gonna be using. So to go in with the trim, I'll probably do one of these two, like trimming around like the edging, and then we'll see what else I might use. It is about 1:45 on Saturday, and I need to have the paint done and the wallpaper done by 10 o'clock on Sunday because that is the only time that we could get some people to come and help me move the furniture up here. And so I'd ideally like to have like everything done and just have to put the furniture in, but might be pulling an all-nighter to make that goal. All right, I poured my paint inside of my handy paint pail here, and I am ready to go ahead and start rolling since I got everything edged in. And this is going to go pretty smoothly, I hope. It's pretty much all reachable. This room is like really short, so it's only like 90 to 89 inches tall. So I don't really need a step ladder very much, which is really nice because I'm kind of short, but it works. All right, first coat is all finished, and I think I will need a second coat, especially now that it's drying down. I can see a lot of spots that I missed, but that's okay. I'm gonna let that dry officially, and then we'll go to a coat. Missed a spot. Why didn't you guys tell me? Now we're done with the first coat. So we'll let that dry, and then I'll come back and do coat number two. Okay, I do need to do a second coat because the first coat, since it was such a dark color underneath, it didn't get full coverage. I think if I would have primed and then done a coat of paint, we would have been fine. But essentially, it's kind of the same because I'm just using two coats of paint instead of one coat of primer and one coat of paint. And since I have it and I'm only doing this wall with that color, it works out for me. So let's go ahead and do coat two. I'm gonna do the edging first again, and then we'll come back in with a roller. Also, I'm using like some handy paint tools, and I have these bag things that go over the top, and they are all different sizes. Some of them fit with the tray, some of them fit with the pail. Super cool. Okay, now that I've got this side painted, I am ready to go on to the board and batten, and I'm going to be painting that with also the Behr Marquee paint in the satin enamel, and the color is called Dark Everglade. So this is going to be much, much darker, but it's going to really complement the wallpaper that's going above here, which I have yet to show you. So stick around to see that very soon. I'm going to start by cutting into the board and batten panels just like I did over there. I like to edge first and then go back with my roller because that just gives me a lot easier of a time for, just making sure that I got all of those edges. So we're gonna open this up and get to edging. Okay, well, this is what we're looking like so far. The green, so good, so good. I can't wait to get the wallpaper on, but the green does need one more coat, which is fine. I kind of figured it would. I think even with the primer, it would have been very questionable because we're going from light to dark. And so I just really don't know if that one coat hide is like a real thing. The guy at Home Depot told me that all the colors are one coat as long as you use the specific paint, but I don't think that that's the case because there's like a section for the one coat. I don't know. Anyway, that's besides the point because I have to do a second coat. But one decision that I have made is that I'm going to be keeping all of the trim and the doors white. The only thing that I did go ahead and paint was the baseboards because I just feel like it flows better with the board and batten all the way down. And plus it did need to be painted. So I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the kind of color drench, if you will. But the windows, ultimately, I think I'm just gonna take that tape off and go ahead and leave them white. There are a few areas that I need to touch up. On this window over here, I was already planning on, like painting it a different color than white. So I kind of got some of the green paint on there, which is okay. I think I'm just gonna somehow figure out what white that is, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna maybe see if my brother has some extra somewhere, or if not, that's okay too, and I'll just maybe chip a piece of paint off and go get it color matched because there's just a few touch-ups that need to be done. So once this green is dry, I am gonna begin another coat. I could probably go ahead and start where I started last time, and that's all dry. And I did go with satin because the guy at Home Depot recommended that for kids' rooms because it'll probably be a little bit easier to clean. I did eggshell over there, satin on this, but it's really coming together with the paint, and I'm so, so excited to see the wallpaper on it. All right, you guys, it is the end of day 2, and I'm basically at the point where I wanted to be at the end of day 1. So this project may take me a bit longer than originally anticipated, but that's okay. Things are looking so good, and I am really, really proud of the way that things are looking. So I've got the entire board and batten all painted with 2 coats of the dark Everest color by Behr, and it just, like, I thought it looked good with the board and batten even unpainted, but painting it is just really, really, really encouraging. And then tomorrow I am gonna get up bright and early because I was going to work continually tonight, but I just decided that I would like to have a little bit better lighting starting tomorrow morning. So whenever the sun is up, I am going to wake up. I'm gonna call it a night tonight, and we'll begin the wallpapering tomorrow. It's a big job, so I'm excited and I'm optimistic, but I do know that it is going to take a while just because of the shape of this room is a little bit wonky. I think, again, it's one of those things where, like, once I get going, it will go and it'll start to flow and I'll be able to kind of get in that groove. But yeah, so we'll see you in the morning. It is not quite bright, but it is very early, and so I'm getting a head start here today. I am gonna go ahead and take off all of the tape so that it's out of my way for the wallpapering. This is when this room is gonna start coming together, so let's get this tape off. Just simply taking up that plastic totally changed the look. It is looking so good. Okay. Like I said, it's time for wallpaper, and I got some wallpaper from Photo Wall. I showed you in last week's video a little sneak peek of the wallpaper, but I wanted to officially show you now. So I'm going to be covering anywhere that's above the board and batten. So this is such cool wallpaper because it comes predetermined, like not pre-cut, but like where you need to cut it based on the measurements that you gave. So I gave a little bit longer of a measurement than I needed because I wasn't sure how far down I was gonna go. But basically I'll just cut off. And so this is the wallpaper that I chose, and I think it is so pretty. I'll have to look up the name of it, but it kind of reminds me of, like, you know, Storybook. I was on YouTube Live the other day and someone said that it reminds them of, like, Where the Wild Things Are, which I thought was, like, really cool. And I definitely can see that. The first things first, I need to go ahead and get all of this cut apart so that it's ready to go ahead and install right up on the wall. And I need to get it all laid out, and then we're gonna hit the ground running. And another cool thing is that Photo Wall sends you all of the tools that you need to apply the wallpaper free of charge. So, like, this comes with your order no matter what. And then even the glue. It's like a powdered form. So that comes as well. So we'll mix that up, and then we will be able to start pasting the wallpaper. Since it's not peel and stick, it's regular. this is the first roll. I do have 2 rolls. There's 27 tiles total, and this one had 14 of them on there. So I'm gonna start with the first one. We're gonna see if we can mix up some of the glue, and then we'll get going. Okay, let's see what we've got in here in this box. They pretty much supplied me with everything. We've got a brush to paint on the glue. We've got a level, make sure everything's level. We've got a pencil. We've got a seam roller to make sure that the seams are really tight down. We've got a utility knife to make the cuts. And then we've got a brush to help smooth out everything. And then this is like an edger to help cut. This is so helpful, and all of this is for free with your order. So, pretty cool. And then, like I said, we've got the glue. So I'm gonna mix up the glue. Comes with instructions on how to do everything. Seems like such a breeze. So this is the only bucket that I could find. It's one of my nephews, I'm assuming like Easter basket or something. And so I went ahead and put some water in there, and I am going to mix the glue in here. If it doesn't clean up well, then I will just end up buying them a new Easter basket or something, because I need a bucket. I didn't realize that I was gonna need a bucket, and so gotta improvise. So this tells me that I need to do it says a gallon of water for this entire thing. 4 liters, 1 gallon of water. So I did a half gallon because that makes me super nervous to make that much, but I'll probably end up adding more because obviously they know what they're talking about. So I went ahead and marked a line that's level, that is from the wall to as wide as the wallpaper is. That way I can butt it right up against this line, and I know I'm starting level. Like I said, no walls or rooms are truly level, so it's important to have this line as your guide. I hope it's level or plumb or whatever you want to call it. I kind of double, triple checked with these different levels. Unfortunately, I don't have like a long level. I have, basically this one is too long to get up in there, and then these two are like super short, but from what I can see, it's pretty level, so that we shouldn't see much of a fluctuation of sizing. And plus I got extra, so I'm gonna have enough like extra on top and bottom in case I do go up or down with my design. We should be good to go in that category. So essentially, all I'm gonna be doing is pasting the wall, throwing the paper up there, making sure it's all on there really well, and then continuing on the pattern. I haven't decided. It tells me to cut at the end when everything is up, but for this first one, I feel like I may need to cut it like so that it's not hanging down and pulling on it. I may need to cut it pretty much right away. We'll just kind of see what happens. Okay, I feel like that was a major accomplishment, but I don't really have that much to show for it, if that makes sense, but okay. Let's move on to panel number 2. Let's see if I was able to get that level, and we'll just continue to knock it out. Okay, not too bad. Now that I've gotten past this curve, of course, it's not just going to be simple from here. I've got to now go around the windowsill. So, next piece, number 3. as much as I wanted to before the people come and help me move the furniture up here. But that's okay. I'm like, am in a groove. I know what I'm doing. So it's just a matter of kind of knocking it out. So I'm going to continue over on this wall. They'll be here in about 45 minutes or so. So I also need to kind of get a little bit of stuff cleaned up, make sure that I'm ready to bring the furniture and stuff up here, and then I'll just work around it as I continue doing the wallpaper, and then I'll be able to place the furniture and stuff. So we're definitely getting closer. It's just a matter of knocking it all out. Furniture is in. I am so thankful that I had that help to get this up here. I would not have been able to do it by myself whatsoever. So shout outs to the fam for helping out with that. But I'm still chugging away at the wallpaper. I am ready to do this back wall and then bring it around here. I'm hoping maybe it won't take me as long as this wall took, was about 2 hours. So we'll see though. If it takes longer, I'll just have to come back another day, and that's totally okay because I was gonna be coming back for the reveal anyway. So we're just gonna continue moving and grooving and not really worry about the time too much. Just really focus on getting the actual work done. So let's keep wallpapering. I've got one last piece and maybe a tiny, teeny little piece in the corner, but other than that, this is my last big piece. This has been quite the project. I actually enjoy doing wallpaper though. All right, you guys, that's a wrap on the wallpaper. It looks so good. I am just really impressed with the way that this is all coming together. Now I need to clean this up, gather myself, and figure out what is going to be next. All right, it's about that time where I'm going to start putting furniture in kind of its place. So, with that being said, I am going to get these beds down first. So, these are the actual bed frames. I got these on Facebook Marketplace. Of course, you know I had to be on the lookout on Facebook Marketplace because who would I be if I wasn't looking on Facebook Marketplace? I came across them, and one of them has a drawer that can fit underneath the bottom of the bed, which I thought was cool for some extra storage. And then they're both identical. So I am gonna go ahead and get them laid down. This room is it's not small, but it's not the biggest for all this furniture that we have. So there's a particular way that this is all going to have to go. And we're gonna see if we can't get this all squared away really quick. one done. The whole room is kind of laid out in the temporary layout, I guess you could say. There's another option that we could do, which would be to bring this large tall dresser in between the beds and kind of swap the nightstand and the tall dresser so that this isn't hanging over the windowsill just a tad bit. But we'll see kind of like what all really fits in here once I get the beds in and then a few of the other decorations and things. So it is basically time to start finishing off this space. Some of the things that I still need to do are put the mattresses on the beds and like dress them up, comforters, stuff like that. I need to do the window treatments, put the blinds up, and then behind you is where the reading nook area is going to go, and I'm really excited about sharing that with you guys. But overall, this is just looking so good, and I keep remembering that I am very soon going to be able to see their reaction, so stay tuned for the end of the video. Their reaction should be priceless because, hey, they're 4-year-old boys, so what are you going to say? Alright, so let's grab the mattresses and get them plopped out on here so they can kind of puff up, because I got mattresses in a box and we're gonna lay them out. Okay, we got mattress number 1. Alright, I am going to be using avocado green mattresses for both beds, and they are specifically designed for kids, and I'm really excited to see how they like these. Okay, 1 in, 1 to go. Okay, the mattresses are all set up. They do need to expand for a few hours, so that's why I wanted to go ahead and get them out of the boxes, and that'll be like before I put the comforters on and stuff. So I think I'm going to switch gears now and go ahead and start on the window treatments, so that way we can get like some blinds up here and it's all starting to come together. We've also got some pillows that I'm going to unbox really quick. These are also from Avocado, and so they will need to kind of puff up as well. That's what happens when you get mattresses and pillows and things from the internet and they're boxed, is they just kind of have to air out a little bit since they're kind of vacuum sealed. It's time for the blinds. We need to get some window treatments. These are from Talk Blind, and they can be found on Amazon. They are actually going to be motorized blinds, and you can like set them to different timers and things like that, so that they could like, you know, come up as the boys are waking up in the mornings, different things like that. You can put schedules on them, which I think is really cool and definitely will be in my future home. But first, we've got to just open them up and see what we're working with. Hopefully they're going to be a pretty easy install. We shall see. We got 3 of them to do. So I was able to give measurements, and they should be custom for each and every window. Now I've just got to figure out which is which and which one goes with which window. All right, I believe we are on day 6 when I wanted this to take 3 days. I don't know what I was thinking, but like I told you guys before, this is like plaster walls. And so I was having a little bit of some issues with these anchors that came with the blinds being a bit too long. So last night I went and grabbed new anchors, and these should work a lot better. But these blinds are super easy to install. I'm actually very impressed because I got that other one installed. At first I put it on backwards, but I fixed it, and I'm gonna put this one on correctly the first time. I just need to drill these other holes, and then all they do is like pop into this bracket, and that's it. It's like so stinking easy. We're doing outside mounts so that the blinds come over. You can also order them to be inset if you want to, just totally personal preference. There we go. Super, super simple. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. And then it should be ready to go ahead and go. It's already programmed into the remote as well. Okay, so over here in this little area is gonna be kind of a reading nook, if you will. And I thought it would be fun, instead of keeping it super plain and bare, to actually give it a little bit of color. And so I got some felt right tiles that actually dampen the sound a little bit, which I think that this room could definitely use. Plus, you know, 4-year-old toddlers can be a little bit loud and rowdy here and there, which is totally great, but this will help with the sound dampening. And then it'll also give it a fun little design element over here in this reading nook. I think it's going to be really fun and kind of brighten up this area a little bit instead of just making it so plain. So let me get this box open and show you the tiles that I have picked out. So I ended up ordering quite a few colors. So if I don't use all of these, that's totally okay. I'm just gonna kind of see what design I want to do. Technically, this came in a specific designed package, but at the same time, I could either follow that pattern or do my own thing. So these are the little tiles. And so I can, you know, I believe I got blue, pink, yellow. Got some orange down in here. And then maybe that's it. I thought there was one more color, maybe not. Oh yeah, like a dark blue. So these are the colors that I chose out, which I know you might be thinking like it doesn't really match the vibe of the whole room. But like I said, I thought that these were pretty good complementing accent colors, and that since they'll be over here, this one color kind of ties in the rest of the room. And so I'm hoping and thinking that if I don't go too crazy with putting these up on the walls, that it should all still look really good and be pretty seamless and cohesive. So they'll stick. I got some, it comes with adhesive things, and so we'll be able to stick them right on the wall in whatever design pattern I decide, and then we'll go from there. So I think it would be a good idea for me first to like kind of lay out my design. I have a guide on like what I actually ordered, and I think I'm gonna try and follow that, but I did order extra. So we'll see if that works out, or if I'm just kind of gonna free flow it and do my own thing with the design. Okay, so if I'm gonna do this design, which I do like, if I'm gonna do this design on the wall, I am gonna need to take that portion off, because these walls are only 24-ish inches, and these are the ones that will fit. So I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'll continue the design like on to kind of like wrap it around on the other side as well. And then I think I'll just kind of free flow it. But I just wanted to kind of get that down on the bed so that I could really just see like this is looking good. Like I said, it comes with the adhesives, which I think is really cool because it tells you exactly how many you need on each panel. And by the way, this is not like your craft felt. Like these are panels. They are made from recycled water bottles, which I think is another really neat thing. Okay, I've got 4 on and I'm already loving how it's looking. This is so fun. And also it'll kind of just make it a little bit more cozy over here, I feel like. Cool, cool. I think the most time consuming job is putting all of the little adhesive things on here. That's what's kind of taking me the longest. But it is kind of nice because that does mean that it's like renter friendly and removable. So it's nice that these aren't permanent, even if you're in like a rental or an apartment or something like that, or you may not want this forever. And so they are easily removable. Okay, how cute is this little area? I added in a few little decorations. These are like little pillows, pillow chairs that they already had. So they were gonna work perfect in here since it's kind of like a woodland theme, but like a little bit more of a sophisticated woodland theme, if you will. And then we got a few things on Amazon, like a little s'mores guy, a fire, and some plush logs down here like this, and then we've got the mountains up here as well. And then if you're curious, I am going to be adding a blind here, but unfortunately the measurements that we typed into the talk blinds, unfortunately they were not the right measurements for this specific space because we didn't take into account the slanted walls. So there will be a blind up here eventually, but now we're kind of waiting just for it to arrive. So it won't be here for the final reveal, but it will be there at some point. So don't worry about that. But I love how this little area turned out. These felt right panels, like I can feel the dampening. It does like 35% dampening. So I think that this will be like a super cozy and like a kind of quiet area for them to read. We were gonna do a bookshelf over here, but I think this is super cute. And then maybe if we could get a small bookshelf to go right here behind me, that might be ideal. But if we wanna keep all of this large furniture in here, essentially it's just not going to work with a large bookshelf. So we'll kind of just see what happens. We'll kind of be maneuvering things around as time goes on. But I am in the home stretch, you guys. This is day 6, like I said, and I am ready to go ahead and make the beds. I'm really excited to show you the bedding that we've chosen for this because it's all going to tie into like the woodland theme, but then it's also going to be super easy for the boys to be able to like learn how to make their bed and stuff like that. So let's get those out and let me show you what we got. All right, so here are the bedding packages that I got for the boys, and I am going to be using Betty's. If you haven't heard of Betty's, they are a really neat company that actually makes bedding so that you just zip up the sides and your bed is made. This is great for kids, but it's also really convenient for adults too, I feel like. So we're gonna get these out of here and on the actual mattresses. We got a really neat design on these to show you. It is like, it's called Into the Woods. So it's like kind of woodland animals. And I thought, of course, it would go perfect with the room, and it matches the dressers. It's green. It was the perfect choice. So let's go ahead and get these on. We got the ones that come with the sheets, and there should also be like some pillow shams and pillowcases in here as well. These are gonna be so cute. So are these not like the cutest things? I love the fabric too. The material is super soft and just all around made with great quality. And just think about it. You don't like, this is all you have to buy. You don't have to buy the sheets, and you don't have to buy like extra pillowcases and things like that. It all just comes as one big piece. And then the two pillowcases, or the one pillowcase and the one pillow sham. But it basically just has a zipper on actually both sides, and then you just unzip like this and pull back, and there's your sheet, and then you just put that in there. And like I said, it does unzip on that side as well. So if you wanted to unzip it on both sides to not kind of feel too trapped, like maybe if you were like in a sleeping bag, these remind me of sleeping bags, honestly. But you don't need to sleep with it zipped. You can sleep with it unzipped and like pull this out, and that's like kind of the sheet. And then in the morning, when you are rustling and bustling and hustling around, you just have to pull this up to the top like so, and then zip it closed. Like, imagine for 4-year-old boys to teach them how to make their bed quickly, and so that the room stays looking nice all the time. Like, I just made this bed in like 30 seconds. So really, really cool. And you guys, I am like almost done with this room. I cannot believe that it has taken me as long as it did, but everything has been so worth it. I need to do a little bit of touch-up paint and hang a few decoration pieces. But other than that, we are so close to being done and to them coming in and doing the grand finale final reveal. All right, it's been a whirlwind of a week, but you guys, I am finally finished with this makeover, and I could not be more happy with the results. And I am really excited to share it with the boys, and of course my brother and sister-in-law, and surprise, my parents are here as well. So I'm gonna be going to get them here in just a couple of seconds, and they are going to all see it for the very first time. I've got 6 people going to come in this room and take it all in. So enjoy the final reveal. Eddie?
What do you see?
Ooh, what is it?
What is that?
What
Surprise!
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 Goodness! Look at the room!
A lot.
What?
Whose room is
Hey,
this?
there's beds in here. This was our office. Whose room is this? Is it
Is this Anders' room?
Who else? Yeah. Is this your new room?
What do you think?
This is your new room for a big kid 4-year-old.
Look, Anders!
What do you think?
Oh my goodness! What do you think? It's good? Oh,
You posing?
you posing? Oh, Anderson's posing.
I think they like it.
Why is this
These
like
are,
this now? Why is
it's
it
felt
obvious like
panels,
this
Lauren,
now?
But they're made
She
out of
changed it. It's
recycled
not the
vinyl.
office anymore.
So
It's
they
your
make
bedroom.
35%.
And we'll put the office in your old room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get to sleep in here now.
You get to sleep in here. What do you think of that?
Oh,
You like that? Do you think this is a really cool room?
Do you think I did all this work?
Yeah.
I did. I did it just for you. Do you love it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ah.
And Lauren
Have a
did,
hug?
you're right.
That's your reading area where you can read your books.
We're reading books.
We'll read
There's a
some
book
books.
over there.
Wow.
Well, needless to say, I think it was a success. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think the boys love their new room. What do you guys think? Do you love it? Yay! All right, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a great 6 weeks. I mean, not weeks. It feels like 6 weeks. It's been a great 6 days. See you on the flip side.
Cause I got good night.
Oh, you're going night-night again?
I cut it. Now close the windows because something like that. Zoom, zoom.
Oh, okay. Good night, Anders.
Night.
Sleep good.
See, cause
We love you.
love you.